evening, family. How is everyone doing tonight? Good. Welcome, Candid Culture. Let's get it going. Hey, Kia.
Hey, lovely people. It is your girl, Kia Simone, coming to you from the 313, and you already know what I do.
I was just saying to Kia, I said, I miss you, Kia. Kia was like, dang, Krista, you ain't got my colors going. I was like, I've been a little busy, Kia. Just give me a second.
I get it. I was just like, okay, I need a little, what I said, a rumpa-dum-dump or something.
Right? She said, I need a rubber dump. She said, where's our colors? You usually got a pink or a purple.
Yeah,
Look.
she was trying to play me with a little white background. I was like, Crystal, what is this? Like, I need something pleasing to the eye.
Right. I said, no, look at last week's. We had it the white. And I said, doesn't matter. This is a
I must have missed that. That must not have been the show I was on.
Yeah, she don't remember. She don't remember. I got my little chalice. I know
Okay,
Kia got a glass of
Kimberly.
something.
Hey, Win on Lock Nation. Hey, Princess K.
Hey, Princess K. We unlock. Kimberly, you were the first to come in. Thank you so much. Nobody spoiler. No spoilers because y'all I missed the first 15 minutes. So I of RTL. So I don't know what happened the first 15 minutes of RTL. So no spoilers, please. But then I had to jump into Kimberly's to see what was going on. Let's get it going, Kia. Hold on. Even though our girl, y'all, it's just gonna be Kia and I tonight because our girl.
We don't want to tell all our girl business, but she had an emergency, so she
right. She's just not.
So if you guys are looking for Misha, she'll be back. Just keep her lifted in prayer. Keep all of us lifted in prayer, okay?
That part.
It's real out here,
right? So she's just out tonight. She's probably she probably will show up in the chat. She'll probably pull a crystal. And show up in the chat. I just could not stay away last week. But I do want to do
So here I am with my 3 lovely cards. So, we always do our icebreaker just to kind of give people time to come on in. But the first question I have tonight is, would it be worse for your partner to have an affair with someone not as good as you or better than you?
It would be worse all around, but I'm gonna say better than me, but then at the same time, the reason I'm thinking is because I'm like, better than me, how? There's nobody better than me. So
okay, so this is what I'm thinking. So I would say not as good, because better than me. First of all, I don't want him to cheat at all. So let's be clear. But if out of the past relationships that I've been in, when he went down, I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? They always say how you end up with a girl, and I'm not, listen, if you live in the projects with roaches, I'm sorry, but you just be like, I've had dudes that we have a clean house and everything is popping, and then you go get somebody who basically you gotta assist, and I'm like, well, what's the problem? So I don't know if it's an ego thing or they feel like they want to feel needed, because I heard that a lot of guys need to feel needed. So I just want to give a shout out to Little Black Book 91, because I was watching an interview and he was interviewing, how you pronounce her name again?
Mumin.
No, Tasia.
Oh, Tasia. I loved their interview.
He was like, like your energy. So she's from Chi, which is the cousin to Detroit. So I'd be like rumpa-dum-dump if Sean is watching this, or he watch it later. He always say I shake tables. So with that being said, I'm not that girl that's gonna just stroke your ego. I'm a good woman, but if you just need me to, all day, I'm like, dude, man up. It's hard out here for us too. So I don't know. Sometimes if you find somebody like this, I guess less than you, she's more like, Daddy, you are so wonderful. You're so awesome. Shoot, like you said, Chris, I'm awesome too. Are you stroking my ego like you want me to stroke yours? That's basically what I'm saying. So a lot of people want you to sit all day. Not everyone, the guys I've dealt with, want you to stroke them eagles all day. I'm like, I'm not about to stroke your eagle all day. I love you.
But that's why I asked. This is a great question, actually. Better than me, how? Like, is she not working? Is she the one that like is she gonna be make sure to put the meal? Because I'll cook. I'll make sure you put the meal. I mean the food on the table, but it may not be every night because I work, like or because I'm busy too. But at the same time, it doesn't negate that I would do for him. So I'm just wondering, better than me, how? So this
yeah,
is
that
a
could
great,
be like a lot of things. I
question,
guess
actually.
it depends on the man's standards. So what if it might just be like a better body? Maybe she got a flat stomach, and I might not have a flat stomach. I got a roll or two in the back, but maybe that's his interpretation, or maybe she has more degrees than we have, or something like that, and still can come home and cook a 5-course meal. Because I'll be like, when I leave work, I'll be like, what we about to order today?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I don't know, but when I say less, I've experienced that, so I can speak to that. But like you said, Crystal, we the knit city.
Exactly.
So it's no above, okay? Yeah. And we knew Crystal. Okay, so what's going on? They say it's kind of steamy. So next question, let us know what you guys would think. So would you want your friend to be honest with you, even if it meant hurting your feelings? Heck yes.
Yes.
Okay? Don't have me out in these streets. So we both said that. Like, I always tell Crystal. So listen. You're blocked. I don't know why I can't block today, Crystal. So I was trying to block that person.
Yeah, I got you. I got it.
Let's go here. Okay. I don't want you to be my friend if you can't tell me the truth, because you'll have me out in here these streets looking wrong or being wrong, and you don't say nothing. So I want you to tell me. Now, I know a lot of people, Kia, Simone, like I said, I'm a little rough. When me and Crystal first started our friendship, I said, Crystal, it's in love. If I love you, I might just be like, Crystal, pull it together. Crystal, whatever. And I can appreciate that, but you being honest with me. And basically, I think the older we get, Crystal, we more like straight to the point. So I want you to tell me. Don't be going around and this. I don't have the time. I got so much stuff on my plate. So I think me and Crystal pretty much like, tell me.
Tell me. And there's ways for you to be honest and kind at the same time. But let me know. Just tell me, be honest with me. And even if I can't take it, and even if it hurts my feelings, I'm like, I appreciate you telling me. I do. I want to know.
Like, I might look in the mirror. So let's just be okay, like, body waist trainers, right? So I might leave the house and all my fat tucked in the back, right? And then we get out, and then sometimes the fat pop out like a biscuit. So I don't want Crystal to have me walking around a party or something thinking I'm fine, like, hey, and that biscuit done popped out. I need her to be like, Key,
don't have me out here looking like a rat.
That's
okay, I may have to check one out. Yeah. Yeah, don't have me out here looking like a rat. Let me know. Let me know. Like, if I got too much, like, that's why y'all, and I always tease Misha, because right before we go on, I'm like, Misha, how does this look? Like, how does, let me know, because I do not want to be out looking like a, you just never know, and how you may think you look in the mirror, then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, and Key and I were like, but last week we were like, I have dry skin, so sometimes I make sure an oil up here and stuff like that. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, and then even with, like, relationship, you see me like talking to a new boo, it's not like, you all in my business, I can say, like, hey, listen, Crystal, I noticed this about your new boo. I'm just giving you my opinion. It's nothing against your relationship. You choose to go ahead and move forward, but maybe you didn't see this. Can we still be cool? Because maybe you might see something that I don't see, and you could just, tell me and just be like, okay,
What's so funny? My friend was telling me a story about this guy that she's seeing. She's no longer seeing him, but it made me nervous that he might be abusive. Like, there's some things that he did that I was just like, and I said, I'm just nervous for you, because to me, I don't, you're all the way in California. I'm here. Don't have me flying out to California, or watch the news and you're on the news. Like, I'm just a little nervous. It just, you'd never know. You're like, oh, he wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't do anything. And next thing you know, he does something. So I had to just tell her like that. I had to be honest. And you know, there's things you just don't want to hear, but we got to tell it. We got to tell it,
Yeah, it's like, okay, listen, you're going to do what you're going to do. I respect that. But let me just tell you what I see. Maybe you don't see it. I've had to tell people stuff about their kids. Be like, listen, I ain't got no kids, but you doing too much. Like sometimes people do stuff and you be like, listen.
Right.
Again, I hope we still can be cool, but you out of order. And some of my friends, they'll do some stuff and I'll be like, you wrong. So yeah, I want you to tell me the truth the same way.
We unlock. You say jelly rolls you don't care about jelly rolls, but okay. When we out in public, you're like, can you do something about that?
No, jelly rolls. Okay, like today, I don't have a body shaper on, so it's all just like it's okay. Because some guys find that attractive, but if I try to conceal it with a waist trainer,
right,
that's not cute when that biscuit pop out. So that's what we're saying is, okay, if you're trying to put on like a fitted dress or whatever you're trying to do and something pop out the back or something, that's not a good look. So, sometimes we get a little extra, depends on what you're wearing. You want to pull in, have a clean look. But like when you at home for your man, most men, I think on their arm, they be talking about that slim girl. But at home, they like the little roll. Now, I don't like the rolls, but
I guess they don't mind. They don't mind.
Question. We need to get some men on the show. No, we don't, because last time it went left when the men was on love.
They're gonna come in. They're gonna show up. You just talk them up.
Oh gosh. Okay. So yeah, I would want my friend to be honest. So the last question is, what kind of life would you like to live when you reach retirement?
I would love to travel. And I just want, like, we talk about peace, but I would love to travel and I want to learn different languages. I've always wanted to learn sign language. I've always wanted to, learn different languages and, do the things that I've always wanted to do. So I'd love to travel and, hey, Cocoa Brown experience and learn different languages and just travel, like travel abroad. We've talked about that, like that real travel, before. So Egypt and just, I'd love to travel.
So for me, basically the same thing. I want to travel. I want to be stress-free. So I want to make sure that I'm financially stable now,
right.
Grand out hard now. So you could just really just do the things that you want to do. And I'm gonna be that lazy retired person, okay? Like it'd be funny now, like all the people that I know that are retired now, they be waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, talking about they tired. Take a nap. Like it'd be so funny. Like I know 2 people that be like, I'm tired. Well, why are you still up? Take a nap. So what if you up all night? Turn the TV on, watch Walker, Texas Ranger or something. I've been hooked to Miami Vice lately. So if y'all see me start posting old songs, you know where they came from, because Miami Vice, it bring back memories. I'll be over there like, listen, when I retire, I'm going to be sleeping in. I ain't going to have a care in the world. I'm going to do stuff when I feel like it. It is what it is. So I'm looking forward to that. Like just to not have any stress because you work so hard your entire life. I want to chill.
True.
Don't have, coffee with my girlfriend or
yes.
Just live.
Just live and get up at 3 o'clock or something like that. I honestly, I'm so conditioned to get up early. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the 2 o'clock getting up late and stuff like that. We on Lock Nation said, I want to make love in the Caribbean islands. That part. I like that.
I don't know how to be with 2 old people that like if anybody know Kia Simone, I guess we need to all be taking our vitamins now, because I always say men and bad backs and bad hips, like ain't
yes, bad backs and bad knees. Bad backs and bad knees. That's Kia saying. Yeah, that's what I'd love to do. That's what I'd love to do.
So, Brandy, I have insomnia. I'm up at night watching Miami Vice. That's why I'm up. That's why I said I would not have a care in the world. Like, but my grandmother acts like she have a job to go to. Like, she's still on a schedule. She wants to wake up at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. For what? I have no idea, because she's not doing. She's watching the news, calling me, telling me that I can't go on a trip or where I shouldn't go because the weather is bad. She gets the oceans mixed up all the time. I'm like, ma'am, that's on the Pacific side. That's the Atlantic Ocean. So my grandma, last trip I snuck. And y'all know she had my head when I came back. She was like, yeah, I heard you was, I forgot where I went, Crystal. I said, stop getting up watching the Weather Channel, because you be getting your facts all wrong.
My mother does the same thing. She's like, you're getting snow, right? I said, Mom, it's sunny and pretty outside. Like, look, just relax.
And why are you just, like, she's in Tennessee. Watch the weather for Tennessee. How about that? Why are you watching the weather for Detroit, California? Ma'am, get your life.
Get your life. Just, that's exactly what my mother does. That is so funny. So I have a question, Kia. We were talking about this before the show. So, and people in the chat chime in and help me out. I was watching another podcast, and a couple weeks ago, Kia and I were talking about would you rather a male gynecologist or a female gynecologist? So, we always really talk about therapy here. What do you guys prefer? Do the women in the chat and the men in the chat, do you prefer a male therapist or a female therapist if you are a woman? And do they have to be of the melanin persuasion? Do you want or does it matter? I really want to know about and Kia, go ahead and tell me what you think.
You're about the gynecologist, right?
Oh, no. I'm on therapist. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, y'all. I can't more.
We talked about gynecologists a couple weeks ago.
I'm sorry. I was trying to at least respond to the people that was chatting to me, because y'all know I can't see.
So do you prefer a male or female therapist if you are going to therapy? And does it matter if they're Black, or does it matter they're?
Oh no, I'm an equal opportunity person. I always tell people, like, therapy is like finding a car, deciding who you want to be your friends. You have to feel comfortable. So over the years, I've been in counseling pretty much since, like, maybe I would say at least the last 15 years consistently, like, where you got one on standby at all times. And I've had different ones, and it's just different periods of your life. There was times that I had a, Caucasian one that, helped me through some things, in my career. You get stressed on the job. But she couldn't go any further than that because there was other things that, came up later that she couldn't really relate to me and relate to, in my opinion. So, it's okay to break up with your therapist. It's okay to get a new one. And I tell people, if you're not vibing, if you sit down on the couch and you meet a therapist, you're like, okay, let me go to this office, because you don't know. All you see is a picture when you first start and a name and like a little background, a little bio. Okay, but when you get there, something may be off. Like one of my therapists, he was nasty. His office was nasty, okay? And I'll be like, I can't concentrate in here because it stank all the time. Like, do your patients stink? Is it I don't know. So that was an issue. So if you go somewhere you don't feel comfortable, you'll be like, I'm out of here. So it doesn't matter. Now, my favorite therapist of all time was she was African American. She was a woman. She was Christian. So I liked that about her. And she wasn't ashamed to bring her Christian aspects or perspectives into the counseling. And she did ask me that when she first started seeing me. She was like, okay, let me just tell you, I'm a Christian first. Okay, some people may be uncomfortable because I am a Christian, and I will include Christian my Christian views in my sessions because that's who I am. And I was like, yeah, girl, I'm a Christian too. And she really brought me through a lot. Like, she's my favorite therapist of all time. I don't know if it was because she was Black and she was a woman, but the other ones have worked for me as well.
We on Lock Nation said, I would prefer a female therapist because most female therapists see through your BS anyway. Plus, I want to be um I'm all about balance at this point. Hmm. Okay. So I, because of the things I was talking about, and I guess it didn't really matter if it was male or female. I preferred a female therapist. One of my first therapists were white female, and now here in Atlanta, I have a black female therapist. So, um, but I didn't when I was searching for a therapist. I didn't mind them being male. Honestly, it was who I, like you said, we go off the picture. And I mean, I sat there and read all this bio, I read all the information. And I'd had one interview with one and set up an appointment, and then they couldn't make it. And it was just like back and forth. And then the black male therapist, we just didn't, our times didn't connect. So the one I have now, I really like. And but yeah, I think that's important. I was wondering, um, I have a friend that, because she was talking about relationship issues, she specifically asked for a black male therapist. She said, I feel like a man would tell me, like, be really, like, not pull any punches with me. And she's a black female. So I was like, oh, that's interesting, because some black females therapists don't pull any punches either, as we unlock just said. So that's
So what
also
I found is that sometimes with seeing a black therapist, and especially one that's close in your age, you have to be careful because sometimes you may like start seeing them as a girlfriend, especially if they cool. So I'm mindful of that also when it started getting too personal, where you just, because then you want to be honest and transparent. So sometimes, like if get cool with them, or you in your mind you think, because they're not supposed to cross that line, but in your mind you might start feeling comfortable, and then you don't want to really tell what you're really going through, because sometimes people go and hold back, and it's just like when you go to the doctor, the real doctor for your body, and you don't tell him that you had a ache in your elbow for the last 4 weeks, and that might be adding to your overall health issues. So with that being said, if you don't tell your therapist everything, how are they supposed to help you through that? So sometimes I feel like if people get too close to their therapist, if it's more like someone looks just like you, as far as two females, some around the same age, it may sometimes, become too comfortable for the person who's seeking help.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And I wonder if this is the same thing, because there are is called something called transference. A lot of people start to fall for their therapists, and sometimes the therapists cross that line too. So and I wonder if they, that happens a lot if you have a if a female is seeing a male, or vice versa. So I just, yeah, if you start to see them in a different light. I've never had that. I've never thought of my therapist in, like, as a friend, as a girlfriend, but it's not I agree with you, though, that can
When
happen.
you're hanging out with them like once a week, and especially if they're cool. Like one of mine was like cool. Like one of the homegirls, she was cool. And if
Mhm.
I wasn't there for therapy, I would have like you one of the girls. So again, then like you said, with all your mess, you're like, okay, because now I feel like she's my friend. So do I really want to tell her what's really going on in this head of mine? So I mean, it's like to each his own. But you want to make sure you're doing yourself, the best, giving yourself the best. Because I tell people all the time, they laugh at me. It took me years to become honest with my therapist, because I wasted a lot of money, a lot of time, because I would go in there, like, that's why I said you can't hold out and take out stuff, because stuff you may not think is important puts the puzzle together. Like you might have lost a job when you was, in high school, and something happened, but you don't realize all these things are connected. Like, why is that? That's not important. Let me just talk about this. So you just have to be able to be comfortable and be able to talk about everything, because they're not there to judge now. They might still go home and be like, whoo, child. But they
And you
not
know,
judging you in the thing.
you're not wrong, because therapists have therapists. They're not so we unlock that sometimes it helps, because of the connection that you may have with the therapist, and it makes you want to go back and rebuild on your relationship to make a change. I actually agree with that. Sometimes you kind of get dependent on that connection, and sometimes if you're not doing once a week, you're doing like twice a month, or if you start to feel better, you're doing the work because it's still constant work. You might be at once a month. So, but yeah, I really did. I just feel So you guys feel more comfortable with a female black therapist, and some people don't mind. If it's you could, and it also might depend on like if it work issues or if is it relationship issues and things like that. Hmm.
I had one therapist though. He was cool. Well, he was cool as heck. Like he'd be like, "That's some bull." Like like he called his me like just like what? Okay,
Right.
now he was real cool. Like so he was like I said, it was different times. I think different therapists. Sometimes you might outgrow one, or like I said, different situations. I said career it depends on what you're seeking. What because a lot of them, they are listed like as family therapists, such and such. So you may need a different one that specialize in certain things.
That's true. I just thought that was an interesting topic because right now, and we advocate for therapy. We just and you think you doing fine. You think that you've had like no issues or two-parent household. And, oh, I've had a great upbringing, and but you just need somebody to talk to. So we all advocate for
But
that.
the beautiful thing is, like now you don't even have to go to like the COVID pandemic kind of like made us step up our game on a lot of stuff and change a lot of things how we do business. So
Hmm.
now you can just sit in your living room and talk to your therapist. Like literally, like I during the pandemic, I would take my keyboard, my laptop in the living room and just be like, okay, it's my session time, and click that Zoom button, and we're in here.
Yeah, you're right. That's how I'm doing. That's how I've been doing it for the last year and a half. You're right. So that was my one question. I just was kind of interested in that. Like, does it matter to anyone else? And I'm not trying to get y'all's personal business, but as far as I was like, huh,
But some people you gotta even get there because some people don't even still believe in therapy, counseling, nothing.
girl, say that.
I know people that have like been through tragedies, traumatic things, um, and they still haven't seen a counselor. I'm looking like that is a lot going on up there, and they be like, "Oh no, everything is good." Hey,
Hey,
Harlow,
Harlem, New York. But you know what's something you just said to piggyback on what you're saying now is that my therapist is a Christian as well, but she does, but it's part of the session, but it's not like um all throughout the session. But we know that about each other, and when I was reading her bio, and that was important to me. But yeah, those little things, you could have had really tragic things happen to you, but some people are like, well, I'll just pray about it, or I'll just let God fix it.
And I always tell you that's faith without works is dead. Okay, like I literally like I was like looked down upon because in my family I was like one of the first ones that kind of openly like that was up north. So I'm gonna say I don't know about the ones that was down south, but the one up north to go to counseling. And they're like, why you always going to counseling? And one of my aunts that need to go, she was like, so what you get you get you like basically like you crazy or something. No, baby, I'm far from crazy. I'm probably, about the smartest one because I got enough sense to know I need some help so I can get
Did
out
you
of this.
say that though, Kia? What did you say to her? Like
Probably
seriously?
because I got a slick mouth. That's why nobody
I
messes
know,
with
I
me.
know.
Sorry. That's why nobody messes with me because they say my mouth is reckless. But you know, um, she like that person. She been through so much, and it's like, how can you manage or maintain your life without she just like, oh well, God help me, sis, the way you move, the behaviors that you demonstrate, you need something more than you need. And then I tell her all the time, like, you passing that on to your children. So that's another issue, when you're passing it on to your children, you thinking everything is hunky dory. So I think, like, anybody that know me, I'm gonna always say, did you go to counseling? Because there are so many things you can still go to counseling about and become better.
Brandy Love said therapy is so vital to me. I always feel so much better when I leave. It's like a venting session that puts me in check and it helps me to realize I need to process and look at things differently. Right. And my therapist, sometimes she gives me homework. Like she's like, okay, before our next session, you're going to be doing this. I'm telling you, it's like a venting session. It's like, okay, this is what happened. And she goes over what we talked about the last session and stuff. But sometimes, and the reason why I asked you, what did you say to your aunt, is because there are still some people that when their family talks to them, they don't know what to say or they don't know how to handle it. So you may not want to say what Kia Simone said, but
so
I
true
do
story.
wonder. Go ahead.
And then people sometimes people like the old school people, they are really like good at not like trying to push away from therapy, like it's against, whatever. So I had a falling out with a family member. Okay. So I said to the person, when they tried to talk, have a conversation with me and it kept going left, I said, okay, you know what? I said, I will not have we cannot further this conversation until we have a third party, a therapist in the room. So it was during the pandemic, so it was via, this. And so the person, went, it was a woman, and she went and talked to her husband, and her husband decided to call me and say, aren't you a Christian? Well, she's a Christian and you're a Christian, so you tell me you guys can't work it out. Why do you want to bring in the basically the white man? And the therapist wasn't even a white man. And I'm looking like, what are you talking about? And it was like, so you telling me y'all can't resolve this, amongst each other? And I'm like,
but that's what he thinks about. Like, oh, you're a Christian and you're a Christian, so why don't you just y'all just sit down and resolve it that way? But there's no
evidently we're not. So the person was not like okay, you know how you have like it just we just kept, and it was just like it's me, everything it was like they were being a victim. So you like everything, you're not listening, you're being a victim. Okay, so in counseling, we learn how to create healthy boundaries. And so what I was doing was creating a healthy boundary. You're not about to take me down that rabbit hole with you. I'm good over here. I'm in a healthy space. And that's another thing that we can talk about next, where when you're putting those healthy boundaries up, people start talking about you like, oh, Crystal thinks she better than me. Oh, Kia, she over there acting funny again. You like, that's not it. I'm trying to say
they start not to like it when you say that they don't like. It's like you're hurting their feelings, but by saying that you're in a healthy boundary or a healthy space.
Yeah, so they don't understand that terminology. So I was in a place where I created those boundaries to do, to keep myself in a safe place. You know what your triggers are. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm not willing for you to take me down there, because if I let you take me down that rabbit hole, who's going to be here to pick me up? So if this relationship is an important relationship to me, however, I will not talk to you without a third party. And then I guess they told their husband, and then their husband called me and was like, oh, well, that conversation I just stated. And I was like, sir, this has nothing even to do with you. So why are you on the phone? And then why are you trying to talk your wife against being healthy? So it's like, okay, well, if that's how y'all might need some counseling together or something too, but let's worry about this relationship with me and her. So that relationship is the one, if she wants this, then we need to go to this counselor together. Now, it didn't work out because I think he was in her ear, because we went to one session and she was just, it just didn't go over well because, she ate up the whole hour being the victim. And I just was sitting there looking like we didn't, okay. And we never, went back. And I was just like, you might want to go by yourself. So people are like, well, why y'all didn't continue? Because I see where it was going. She needed to go by herself and figure out, because the stuff she was talking about had nothing to do with the issue at hand. Right. So it was just crazy that and she was going back to like, girl, the 90s. I was like, what?
Wait.
So that means she had a lot to unpack, and there was too much to unpack in an hour. And I was just there like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like how we on this call, like what it just went left. So I'm thinking like you need more than what I have. You know what I'm saying? So I shouldn't be in this. And so at that point, I'm sure she never went back, and it probably was because her husband, was against it.
Princess K said, I went through a deep cleaning of my friends for my mental health. Some didn't understand. After explaining a few times, I cut out the people who weren't willing to accept my reasons. And just that, what you just said, if you're trying to explain it to them, then that you're saying that these are my boundaries, then that hurts their feelings because you're sounding much more at peace with yourself, or you're sounding like you're in a better space than they are, and that's also hurting their feelings too. But go ahead.
Let me tell you about real mental health, and people don't understand. So there has you can go through certain things in your life that will cripple you, that will take you up out of here.
Say that.
Where I've had situations that were so overwhelming, like especially those major life changes. Let a whole bunch of stuff hit you, like a death. Basically, I'll be transparent, a divorce, all kind of stuff at the same time. Let all that stuff hit you. You be barely holding on, barely trying to get up and go to work every day. So I'm not about to let something extra at me. So when I tell people that, I'm like, listen here. When I say that, I mean that thing. When I say, listen here, if I fall apart, you're not gonna be there to pick me up. So that's why whoever in the comments said that they value their mental space, their health, and their space. You have to have that, and you have to set those boundaries, because again, if I don't go make the money, my bills don't get paid. If I don't get up, guess what? I'm not trying to get, mess up my credit. I'm not trying to, lose my car because I fell apart because you and your shenanigans. You want to bring your shenanigans. So when I tell people that mental health thing, when jobs need to have more mental health days. And me and Robin talk about this all day. Like, what I should call them mental something health days or whatever. But you need those days. And I'm not letting nobody bring me down, because again, I know what it feels like. The real stressors, I've been through them stresses where, I look pretty today. Thank you, kid. I was saying, tell myself, Mary J. Blige, hello, gorgeous.
Right.
And that's not like, I'm very humble, y'all, just to be transparent. I say that now because the stuff I've been through, baby, listen, y'all have to catch me on one of those transparent days. But when I say that is that when you go through so much, you got to hold it together, and you just can't let people bring you down. Because when you have those times where you can't even get up out of bed, I've had those times where I've lost weight. Like, did I shower today? I'm gonna be real. Let's be real. Where you you just can't manage nothing. So at that point, I just refuse to ever go back to that place by the, God willing that he's with me, and I've been through counseling. So I'm just not going to let nobody, take me there because of your own, issues, or you want people to stay with you.
Yeah. And actually, it is not, I don't think it's called mental health days, but that's why they have EAP. So you can, and they give you 5 free sessions because they know how important your mental health is. I want to go back to what Princess K, and then I'm going to go back to you, High Vibes. She said, sorry, my mental health is more important than most anything else. I will distance myself from even family if I feel that they are toxic. And sometimes when you have friends that are not taking care of their mental health, when they see you on track to healing, they act funny because you're growing and they're not. And that's what I was talking about your friend or your family member, because they saw that you were in a different space, then they were getting angry that she's in a so it's almost like getting I had something
that
happen.
glow. Listen here, tell the truth. When you get that inner peace, when you learn how to work that thing, that glow hit different. Let's just be real.
It's so sad because like y'all see my facial expression. Sometimes I'll like a memory will hit me, and so I'm like, but you're right, that glow hit differently, and people don't get it. And so when they're not in that same space that you are, it's like they're saying, oh, so you're saying that I'm not in the right space? I didn't say that.
Call it what it is. Misery loves company.
Yeah.
When Jesus hit you and that constantly hit you together, bam, you in there. So I just tell people like all the time, like my glow is different. Like y'all, I promise y'all, my dark days, it makes you really appreciate when you get through, like when you learn how to manage your stress. You learn how to do those things. I get on Robin all the time. When she started trying to talk about negative stuff, I be like, boo boo, why we talking about this? What they got to do with you? What they got to do with me? Okay, we back on the same page. Right. Let's just be happy. So I listen. That's why y'all love me, because I just be like so happy. I be just like so happy. So with that being said, you just have to like appreciate when you get to that place. Like I am so excited. And then you have to be mindful of the people you bring, that you keep in your life. Because actually somebody that was still miserable had nerves to call me last week. And they started trying to talk about the old kid. I was like, babe, hold on. I said, this call gonna end real quick. I said, when the last time I did that? When the last time I popped off like that? So you can't say that I've done that like any time lately, like within years and years and years. So that's who you want to remember, but that's not who you got right now.
So I want to talk about that real quick. What is going on with these people that want to? Are they trying to reminisce to get you back in that mental space?
No,
what is that?
They're still miserable. They haven't got their help. They miserable. Let me tell you why they miserable. Because they watching me and Crystal on. They watching our videos. Okay, so they looking like they too happy. They having a good time. That must be a front. No, baby. This is all good. It's Gucci over here. I don't know if you say that, so don't age me. Don't cancel me. But they, thinking like, okay, well, let me see if, she's still triggered. Let me see whatever. And you want to talk about who I was in 2003, baby, we're not going to talk about that. So if you wanted this conversation to continue, let's not, because you can't tell me the last time that you seen that side of me.
Right.
First of all, let's talk about Jesus. Jesus forgives. You might want to get you some Jesus, because Jesus don't be talking about that old stuff. So go on somewhere, boo. And they changed the subject.
Yes, and it's so funny. They just love to say, "Well, I remember back in the day," or that. Why? Okay, that's I moved past that, but they want to reminisce. They want to see you, take you back to that place.
It's almost like
they haven't moved past that place.
Yeah, that's like they mad that you, that you growing, that you had showing growth. I think they do.
Yeah, they're mad that you've moved past that place, and they have not made the steps. They have not taken the steps to move past that place. They and let's go over boundaries real quick. You were saying you wanted to go about talk about boundaries real quick, because that was a word, and I got the books right here, boundaries, but it's so important, because you said your friend, you're like, or your family member, listen, this is my mental space. These are my boundaries. You can't cross these boundaries. You have to make sure and cover your own boundaries.
Listen, if you invite me to a barbecue and all y'all do is gossip, and I know it's just a whole bunch of gossipers there, guess what? I decline. I don't need no does not warrant an explanation. You already know what time is it. I already told you that I feel uncomfortable with the gossip. So those are healthy boundaries. I told you, I think I don't know which show I talked about it. 1 year somebody told me to bring some green beans. I told you I'm not bringing them green beans. Okay. That's not the environment that I want to be a part of. So I don't know why they thought I was still bringing them green beans, but them green beans didn't show up, or I didn't show up, because those were those healthy boundaries. Why would I go anywhere and be stressed out? Wait, you're going to get dressed. Y'all know I wear wigs. So now I got to put on a wig. I got to glue the edges down to go somewhere that I don't want to be and I'm miserable. No, those are those boundaries. You got to, like, hey, listen, we had Crystal and myself did a show about no doesn't need an explanation. I'm not.
Right.
Those are my boundaries.
We did do a show. That's the power of no. That's, what? And it's so funny, because that has happened to me before. We were at a cookout, and I'm out there talking, sitting there with all the ladies, and I hear them just the gossiping and kiki and kiki and kiki. I walked away. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and talk about these people, and I walked away. And I said, oh, I just don't want to have this conversation. I'll just sit there and not say anything. Then they act like I'm being antisocial. I'm not being antisocial. I just don't know how is this moving the needle forward. How is this doing making whatever situation that person is in, how is that making it better? But because they're not in that same space, they don't know how to then they get mad at you. That's what I say.
Oh, High Vibe just said something very interesting, that you should take stock of your relationship and make adjustments. Yes, you have to. You have to, like, go in and be like, because people we grow up, we grow apart. It was a friendship that I really, Chris, we talked about it offline. I don't want to get into the details of it, but it was a friend that I wanted to keep close because we knew each other for so long. And it was just like, Chris was like, girl, stop trying to force that puzzle. But I was like, this is my friend. This is my friend. But you sometimes have to just assess the situation and realize, like, okay, this is not a healthy place. Or this is not, good for where I'm at now. So yes, you do. You have to sometimes assess the situation.
You know what's so funny, Kia? I really want to go back to something you were saying. You had the altercation with you and the family member. The husband stepped in. And how did you feel when he stepped in on a conversation or something that had nothing to do with him?
I was
Because
insulted, okay? I was really pissed, okay? Because this is not the first time this man stepped to me. It was almost like an episode of Ready to Love. Like,
well, that's what I was gonna. That's why I'm kind of
what's the other stuff? Whenever somebody, Housewives of Atlanta, when they were talking about Peter, like, you want a peach or whatever. So this person, husband, always speaking for her, and I was like, if you don't stop speaking for me. One time, I had a dude. Now, I did have a dude. It's been a minute since I had a boo, but one day he called and my boo was like, hold on, do I need to take that call because now husband's calling? So I was feeling some type of way, Chris. I really was. So I felt like kind of attacked, and I felt like the relationship with me and this person had nothing to do with him. So why are you in here? It's like almost like you was doing more damage than supposedly trying to help fix it.
And I just don't get it because, and you're right. That's why I really wanted to tie this into, because if two women are having a conversation, and let's say even 4 and 5 women are having a conversation, and you speak up, whether you're defending one of those women or not, how are you helping the situation? You're actually making it worse. And it's so funny because I was watching, shout out to LBB 91, because I'm from the South, and when they did the review, and what's her name now? Stacey said that's a Jenny woman. He, just wants to sit there and kiki with the ladies. I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what they call it. Like, why are you? What are you doing? What are you doing sitting here just kikiing with the ladies? And how is that helping the situation? Hold on, y'all. I gotta get this out of here.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like it was a control thing for him. So I was just like, sir, you control that. Anybody didn't know Kia Simone, I came out the womb ready for battle, okay? I don't know where I got it from, but that's just how you looking real confused, Krista. She's trying to block these people. It's a lot of them showing up. So yeah, so I just came straight out, rah. Now I could be, there's a soft side to me, but if you try to, come at me aggressive, that's what, and I gotta go in protector mode, that's what, you're gonna get. But I just feel like with that case, it's like I wasn't even like attacking his wife. That's what was so sad. I was really like low key, like calm. I just was like, made a statement. I said, you know what? I see we're not seeing eye to eye. And actually, I didn't even say it. I texted, okay? Because I didn't want no more bumping. But I was very politically correct, okay? I put my corporate America, tone on. And I was like, okay, hey, it seems like, basically we're not going to see eye to eye. So let's just go to a third party to, resolve these issues. And here he comes.
Why? So And for him to say, "Oh, you Christian, right? And you Christian, right? So y'all should be able to handle this." So why are you even coming in and having the conversation? What did Harlem say? I really want to go back because I was in the middle of something. So sorry, Princess K. I didn't get to read your whole statement. But Crystal, you want to come over? Are you are you okay? I'm okay, y'all. Y'all know my facial expressions. I got it. But yeah, so I don't argue with men. I give my fiance the role. As for women, my fiance will call me to check a woman bothering him. He doesn't argue with them. That's interesting.
Hold on, let me read that. I don't argue with men. I give my fiance that role. As for women, my fiance will call me to check a woman or
Sorry.
them. He doesn't argue with them. So I mean, if it's his family member, okay, I don't get in the middle of family. Okay, that's your stuff or whatever. But if it's something like, hey, maybe like I said, it's needed. But with this issue, blood is thicker than water. So I don't care if that's this is a family member. So me and this family member have some issues. Okay, this is between me and this family member. Why are you on the phone? And this is not the first time this husband, jumped in. And I think, like I said, maybe I don't think he intentionally, but he makes it worse. Y'all, with Crystal got stuff going on. At least that's better than that cat. Crystal.
I'm still here, y'all. Keep talking. So I agree. And it's so interesting that if we should be able to solve it ourselves as adult women. But
but that goes
we
back
have this thing about men protecting us, but you're protecting us against another female. So I'm just, yeah.
My thing is, he was in denial. Okay, because there's no way that you've been through sexual abuse and all these things that you've been through in your life, and you never seeked help, that you just miraculously you're just good.
You're just fine now.
Nothing's never bothered you in life. You're just fine.
Oh, I know that's wrong.
Yeah, so it's almost like he wants to be her savior, her be all to be all. So with that being said, I see a lot of her behaviors that are weird with him, but that I ain't worried about that. We're talking about our behavior. You want to continue this relationship with me, and I know signs, because again, on the side note, you guys, I am a life coach also. I'm a certified life coach, so I see stuff, but I can't counsel you because you're a family member. So with that being said, I'm like, okay, let's go to a third party. And he fought it. So it was like, okay. Now she did stand up to him because the relationship was, supposedly important to her. So we did, like I said, go to the one session. But trust and believe, when the session was over, she told him everything that happened. And she probably was upset because it didn't go how, people think that you're going to solve everything on the first session if you've never been. So she probably thought that everything was going to be hashed out in an hour. And then she went back and was like, yeah, she still wasn't listening to me. First of all, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So I know how to sit in there and be like, okay, I'm taking notes. Okay. So it just didn't go well. I'm sure it's because she probably shared with him.
So yeah, she shared with him and then her sharing with him your personal business. That's another thing we can talk about too. So High Vibe said men who interfere in women's business is probably insecure or controlling. And I get, like, we talked about this before pillow talk, but you guys say that's the conversation between you and her, just make sure it's handled and it doesn't bleed over into our family. And that's it. For him to get in the middle, that's real Jenny. That's real.
And like I said, so like honestly, since that session, me and that person haven't talked, and it's been like probably 2 years now. So it's sad, but it's just like I'm not going back down that unhealthy place. And that's another thing. People want to have a issue, the big elephant, the pink elephant in the room, and then people just be like, oh, let's just, when it's a barbecue or a graduation, you just want everybody to show up and act like nothing's wrong. And then after I pass you the baked beans, then we're supposed to be friends again, and we forget about all the stuff. And I'm at that point like, no, we're not about to pass no baked beans. Let's talk about this right now.
Girl.
No, look, no baked beans. So that's another reason why they pissed off at me because I don't roll. No.
She and I are the same person. I'm like, no, we need to talk about this. Like, I
fell for that before in the past. Like, where a tragedy, something happened in the family, a death or something, and you at the funeral and y'all crying, and then all of a sudden after the funeral is over, then you back friends with that person, but they the same person that they was before, and then y'all them issues just blow. It's bigger. It's a blow up. So
because it's not squashed, because you did not have a conversation about it, and now you still feeling that type of way. You still feeling whatever issues that you had in the past. Although, like, if I'm going to move past it, I'm going to move past it. But
or the behavior hasn't changed. So if they don't
that
accept,
part,
like, when I say, well, what are you sorry for? Even like, when I was in a relationship, a romantic relationship, don't just tell me you sorry. What are you sorry for? Because we need this behavior to stop.
Mhm.
We don't need this to continue. No.
So what if they don't know that they did something wrong? Sorry, now I'm having issues with my shirt.
And
Okay.
then that's when you say, okay, you have to respect people. People's feelings are valid. So if Crystal, say her feelings is hurt, I can understand. I respect that you're feeling hurt. However, Crystal, that was not my intentions. But I acknowledged her feelings first. So don't be like, why is your feelings hurt? That's an attack. You're basically trying to say, like, my feelings are not valid. So now I shut down. So in this situation, let's communicate and be adults. Okay,
Right.
listen, I'm, I cut to the chase. Okay, listen here. You hurt my feelings. I felt I was very. You see the person who called me. Listen here. I'm not about to go down this with you right now, or ever. So I'm not that person no more. And you have to just say, hey, that hurt my feelings.
Have I said I definitely not? I'm definitely not the person to sweep things under the rug. My family doesn't always appreciate communication when it's positive. They would rather hold grudges or pretend. Very frustrating. I have family members like that too, high vibes, and it is very frustrating. And I understand that they're not, they're not they don't want to do the therapy. They understand that that's not the path that they're taking, but at the same time, and I'm not going to like force it down their throats, but at the same time, they can't keep holding grudges and expect for me to do the same thing. So it's yeah, it's so.
Usually that person that breaks the generational curse, they're considered the black sheep. Because nobody really don't be rocking with me. They be like, she moody, she this and that, whatever. You can say whatever you want to, but I'm over here dancing. It won't be nobody in this house but me, y'all. Let me just tell y'all, Kia Simone be having a party the other night. I know they probably was like, did somebody break in her house? Because I was playing some music that I really don't usually listen to, and I had it on bump.
Right.
My party, okay? So with that being said, you just have to be in a happy place, and you just like if you decide that you breaking generational curses, and sometimes I had to accept that God put me here for a reason. When I used to wake up every day like, God, why am I here? It seems like I'm not serving no purpose, but maybe I was that one in the family to just be like, hey, this is not right. I always felt like that, like, why are we not? Don't we like at Thanksgiving dinner and everybody, that's when you get the gossip of the people over there.
Yep.
Don't whisper to me about, no, don't do that. So I'm not that chick, and I used to always be annoyed when it was a certain family member that always wanted to whisper. First of all, I don't want you whispering in my ear. We too grown for that. I hate that. Do not try to whisper in my ear. And they didn't take the clue. Like, take the hint. If I keep dodging you, that means don't whisper in my ear. I told you, you still doing it. Stop.
But it's, you know what, and it's to serve them, not you. It's because it makes them feel better. It makes them feel like they're getting something off their chest. Princess K said, in terms of communication during a conflict, I say 2 to 3 good things about them first, and I present the issue and how it makes them feel and how it makes me feel. I agree with that. Like, I'm like, okay, so how do you? So let me first say that this was great or whatever. You have to. The sad thing is we do have to present it in a certain way. This is, they just present it in a certain way. But sometimes you got to be straightforward with somebody because they're not going to hear it. How are they're not going to receive it?
How I lead mine is because my mental health is very important. And I'd be like, hey, my mental health is very important. And at this point right now, I don't want to, be on that slippery edge, that slippery slope or whatever you want to call it. So, at this point right now, this situation is upsetting. And, you just continue like, okay, and, listen, I just need my space. That doesn't mean I don't love you, but I have to just sometimes take a break. I'm just very transparent. And again, if they don't like it, they don't like it. But hey, I still love you with the love of the Lord. How they used to say it in the church.
I love that. I love you with the love of the Lord, but I want to go to Monique's statement because I love this. Very true. The subconscious envy won't allow them to break generational curses. So unfortunate, but and I really believe that that's what it is. It's like this envy or this frustration that you're in a different mindset or in a different space than they are. So it's almost like they're getting angry at you for being far removed from the situation or not in the same headspace that they are in the situation. And that's happened to me actually not this past Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before it. My brother and I going to Thanksgiving, and he was very angry, just upset at stuff that happened to us as children. I said, you know what? Listen, we're going to eat. We're going to see family. You don't want to associate with this person. You don't have to. Like, there's going to be plenty of other family members there. But it was, and because of any frustration he had, he made it very inconvenient, and that frustration boiled over to me and to someone else. So
well,
it's almost like, yeah,
have he ever went to counseling?
No, well, that's one of the arguments that we had. I said, you need to go to counseling, because he said, oh no, I've been before. I've been to like a group session. And I said, no, you need to take the time to find your own and stuff. And I said, I'm not going to force it. So if you don't want to have this conversation anymore, we don't have to, but I think it would really help. That's something.
That question we talked about earlier, do you tell your friends the truth or whatever? I told people like, you need to fire your counselor. So either you lying to your counselor or you need to get a new counselor, because if you still doing the same stuff and you saying you got a counselor, something ain't right.
Right.
And I told people like, you might want to get you another one.
And that's what I did. And now that I think about it, I did say that. I said, you know what, some counselors don't work. You got to, take the time and find another one and find another one. It's okay. It makes sense.
But I want to add this.
Mm-hmm, go ahead.
Again, like, trust me, you guys, I am very humble. I am like low key, like whatever. When I say stuff, like this, what I'm about to say is because I was in a dark place for years. Okay. And when you go through that counseling, like, I was so like depressed and didn't even realize how depressed or how much help I needed. Like, I was quiet. Okay. I was like, like, the stuff that I'm doing now, I wouldn't be doing if I didn't have that counseling and that Jesus or whatever put together, making that nice little, recipe. But that's why a lot of people don't, realize how healthy it is or how good for you that it is to go to counseling. Like, I could be this person now that, again, that could talk to y'all. I would have never got on anybody's YouTube. Not even like 5 years ago, probably. No.
Y'all, so, I feel like I'm forcing her.
No. It's not that you're forcing me. No, it's just that because of my confidence level, because of the depression, the anxiety, everything that was going on until you got healthy. So now when I go somewhere, people be like, oh, she a cool chick. I wasn't always that cool chick because I was so like miserable. I was the miserable, like, the person that we talking about now, I was the miserable chick. Everything was like something was wrong. And I would join that bandwagon with all the people that was negative. So, negative people hang out together. They got group text messages. They got group chats or whatever. They all be negative together. So now when I see negative clicks, I be like,
negative people, they have their own association. They have their own groups. Negative people, they have their own association. They're all hanging out together. But I do want to say something about what Kia just said. Protect who you talk about counseling to and with, because I know that she just said something about depression, and y'all know I've sometimes I suffer from imposter syndrome and stuff like that. But I think I said this on Maria S's channel last year, that if I were to tell certain family members about counseling, they would immediately, "Oh, are you depressed? Oh, what's going on with Chris?" Like they would, their reaction, because it's still such a foreign thing, that the judgment would just would be an onslaught of judgment. So protect yourself as to who you talk to certain people about this. You don't have to, unload that information. Go ahead, Q. Who are you laughing at?
At this point, like, I don't care. I'll be like, listen, here, this is what I do. Like, listen, you want me to sign you up? Like, it'd be funny because somebody had called one day about something. I was like, oh, I got counselors on speed dial. Do you need a life coach? You need a therapist? Who you need? Let me hook you up. They like, for real, you just send me the number that quick?
Yeah, I could.
So stop playing. Like, listen, that's a part of my daily, like, life. So it's no shame in my game at this point. So the people that got something to say, like that husband that want to call, sir, you probably need to go too. Mm-hmm. So let's end this call. We're done.
Like attracts like. That's what I mean about checking relationships. If folks around you are negative, then I have to look at myself. How did I attract or accept that energy? Exactly.
But that's that blessing when you get out. Because even like when we attract bad guys, so you know how you be looking like, how did I keep attracting these? So like for a while I was attracting the same type of guy, and I was like, how do I?
Y'all be speaking to me.
And that was because I had daddy issues. So now I figured out what them daddy issues is. But again, let me tell y'all about the grace of God. Like when you really start working through stuff, he'll put different people in your life that is a blessing. Like I got so many people in my life that I love, like for real. That I be like, you would think I got a boo. Like sometimes I talk to some of my friends or my cousins. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I love you. Love you too. Okay. It'd be so cute. So that was because I had like issues because again, I told you guys my story. I grew up in a house. My mama didn't tell me she loved me. My daddy was, I don't know where he was at. And I was just like a little kid in the house. Like, I don't know. Do they want me here? Like,
you had to figure it out yourself. But what's so funny in High Vibes just reminding me of it. And Kia just I literally ran into an ex at the store yesterday. I was waving and walking. I was like, hey, and he just wanted to like keep the good. Hey, Krista, how you doing? What's going on? I said, I'm doing well, and you? And I just kept literally. I said, no, I ain't going down that road, and I don't even want to have a conversation with you. So it's important that you just keep moving. If you know that is a negative person and they brought negativity into your life, you just keep moving. And it's important to protect that space, protect that boundary in yourself and in your life. Just keep moving and get those people out of, clean your closet for the better people to come along. That's what I meant. Yeah. And it's so important to do that and recognize it, because sometimes we don't recognize it. And like Kia said, maybe we're at a different age that now we start to recognize it quicker because we didn't recognize it years ago.
My antennas be on. I'll be like, disconnect. To the left, look, to the right.
And we're not even judging because there have been, look, I can tell you stories. We've told you stories that we didn't recognize it. So now that we have, we're like, okay, now that I see it, like, let me put stop on it before I go down that road again. That is
overall, I just think I'm pretty good now. So like I said, it doesn't bother me. Like I said, a lot of stuff, I think that's part of my ministry or whatever, because I am a person that made it through, and sometimes when people be like, no, you can't make it through, and I can say, okay, well, let me just tell you, I'm a living example. Look, you can make it through. Right. This is what I did. Here are the steps or whatever. So I'm just, like I said, enjoying this part of my life. That's all I can say. I'm just loving it here.
And some that happened to me the other day. Somebody thought I had a boo. I was like, you know what? You get up and you get dressed like you got somewhere to go, like you got somewhere in your life that means something to you. That's important.
I laugh at Krista all the time when we on the lives and she started looking over there and be like, who you talking to? Who there, sis? I do it all
the time. They did that to me. They're like, Krista got a man over there.
Who is that, Krista? We need to know. But yeah, I think, like I said, overall, we just have to take better care. And like I said, just, you don't push off. But I think when you're a living example, or, you're a living testimony that people can see your light shining, that it really worked. Hopefully that some people that watch, because one of the other family members, once I got certified, I told her that I couldn't be her life coach, but she was one of the ones that used to fight it. And then she like, oh, well, can you take me on? I was like, well, that wouldn't be a good idea. That's highly recommended not to do that, because you want to have a biased person. Yeah. Go
Was
ahead.
that the real reason, or you just did not want her as a client?
I feel like she wouldn't have been honest with me too.
Interesting.
And one thing about Kia Simone, I don't tell. Listen, even before that, I don't tell people business. Okay, I be knowing all kind of secrets, and I be wishing that I didn't know. I be having so much tea. I got so much tea right now, and I'll be like, why? Why do I got this tea? And I don't say nothing. And then when it come out, I just be sitting there like everybody else, like, oh,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use Robin's favorite words. It's not my story to tell. So I just feel like maybe it would have been a trust issue or whatever. So I was just like, no, I can give you someone else. My friend does it, so here you can go with her.
That's a very interesting, because it's so important to be honest with, even if you're,
Crystal says that's the real reason.
Life coach or because sometimes, no, all money ain't good money. So if you know what, if it's important for her, and honestly, like, have her find a somebody that she's not known for years. It's important that you have an unbiased life coach or whatever. All money ain't good money. So just, I would have put it that way too. That's important, y'all.
Crystal know me. Crystal likes that the real reason. That was the producer. Her like she ready to produce a reality show. She's like, is that the real reason?
Is that the real reason? Let us know.
she all in, and she came. Y'all see, she came into the camera. She's like, is that the real reason? She did the lady. She was like, is that the real reason?
So I really love this conversation tonight, because it's always good to do a check-in, and maybe we will do something like this, like once a month, or every 2 months or something like that. Just have a conversation about like mental health and just self-care. I think that's really cool for us to do. Even when Ms. Misha Allen gets back, I think that is so important for us to do, because we really want to, check in with because y'all are VIP. We love y'all. We really appreciate y'all coming in, because we really appreciate y'all every week. It's so important. So yeah, I'm glad we had this conversation tonight.
My suggestion is don't be afraid to set boundaries. Journal. Make sure that you have safe spaces. When I mean spaces, is that your friends, the people you keep around you, your close people, make sure that they are healthy and they're not negative. Again, some people you choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. However, you don't want to just, stay in that negative space by always hanging with negative people. So, Crystal, that book Boundary, I still haven't ordered. I meant to order it. I forgot.
It's a workbook too. There's a workbook and a reading book.
Yeah, so those are important things. Like I said, those are things that get me through. I journal, because sometimes, like I said, we run our mouth to the wrong people that don't give a darn about what you're going through. They just can't wait to get off the phone so they can go tell somebody that, well, Kia, this happened to Kia, she owed it. People be so quick to run their mouth about what they think. You tell them one thing, then they just add their part to it. So yeah.
So let's touch on this real quick. Is it because I don't want to say that we're living well, but is that still happening? Because back in the day, when I was in school, like people would be like, oh, don't tell anybody I told you this, but this is what's going on. get off the phone with them, and then they tell somebody, they tell the next friend, they tell the next person, and I feel like because you're conducting yourself a certain way, they want to spill your tea, or they want to gossip about you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And that was a hard time for me too, because I don't know where people get that I'm a goody two shoe from, or that I think I'm perfect, because I never said that. I've never in life, never. Okay. And when I say I'm amazing, that's because I be like, I'm a child of God. I just be being, extra or whatever, but I know that I'm his. I know whose I am. And that's why I be like, okay, the stuff I've been through, yes. So all those jokers or people that played me with, not just in romantic relationship, all the people that played me, guess what? I'm amazing. My Jesus told me so. But when people that be around you that want to see you fail, because if you seem like you got yourself together, as soon as something come out, and I didn't even really tell nobody when I was going through stuff, but people was making up stories about me, Crystal. When I moved to the house I'm in now, they was like, I don't know why she moved. She must, people like, you lost, like your money ain't right. You must
Right.
have fell off. Why you moved? I never told you why I moved. And all kind of stuff was making up their own narrative, and it was just like crazy. But I had to just shut it out. I took it in for a minute and let my feelings get hurt for 2.2 seconds, and I was like, let me pull myself back up by the bootstraps, because Kia, you gotta have this. But yeah, people do, they judge you, they're miserable, and that's why they hate on you, because they see greatness, and they want to finally say that you failed.
Yeah, and honestly, and we've said this before on my show, that the power of no. I'd be like, you know what? I moved because I wanted to. How about that? Because because I'm able to do that, and but they don't like that answer. They feel like you are obligated to tell them a story. You're obligated to open up to them in some kind of way, and you're not. We just
Baby,
have
when I went
conversation.
through my divorce, they all wanted to know what happened. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, he left me busted. He did this and this. I'm looking like, well, who? Is there another person here on the phones telling this stuff? Because I'm just saying, where y'all getting this information from? Like,
Right.
yeah,
Wow.
I see it wasn't perfect. Da, 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 this and that, whatever. So at the end of the day, when I tell y'all my story is so like, we all got a story. But when I listen here, I'm gonna come back, because I'm just gonna put this in God's hand. I'm trusting that some major stuff about to happen in my life, and when it happened, I'm gonna come back. So y'all gotta come back, and I'm gonna be like, listen here, look at God, look at God. So I start telling y'all my testimony, but it's like when I tell you guys like the stuff that I've been through, there's no way I should be here right now talking to Crystal. Like when I tell you, God has been so amazing. I'm trying to start taking it to the testimony time. I do this not what, but when I tell you, like from where I started, like I started in a place that I'm not supposed to be this person. There was nobody who sold in me. That's why I sow into people. That's why when if I like I could see somebody Instagram post and it might not look, I see that you're trying to do a business. Hey sis, let me put you up on this. Let me get you with this. And they be like, why would you do that? I will help you because I know I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be this person that I am today. When I tell you, like, nobody sold into me, nobody was like, Kia, I love you when I was growing up. Nobody like showed me this stuff. And now that I could be this loving person, that I could just love on people, be like, I love you. I'm just telling you, I'm so full of love now, like for real, because I know that I'm not supposed to be this person. And even the people that slept on me, I posted today, I'm like that song that people pass by until you really listen to it and realize it's a hit, that is the bomb diggity. So when I say that, that's because when I started my job, I didn't have parents that told you to go to school. I didn't, I was smart, but I didn't have nobody to say, hey, you need to take this, you need to take this class, or you need to, we're going to take you to these colleges, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Nobody sold, but God saw me, and God was like, I'm going, that's my baby right there, and I'm going to take care of her. So the place that I am now, like, listen here, y'all going to make me cry. Like, I started corporate America, didn't even have a degree. I went in there with no ambition. They just said, show up. I know why I was showing up. got a job. The job that I got now, I end up getting my degree while I was there with tuition reimbursement, but I wasn't supposed to be there. But God put me in the places. I always tell people I just happen to be there. God just always put me in the places. Now I got a job making good money. And then guess what, y'all? Then I wrote a book. I didn't think a little girl from Detroit was gonna write a book. A book? Listen, y'all, listen. A book. I got a book. 320 pages. 320. So with that being said, like that fell in my lap. I didn't know no editors. Listen here. If anybody know Detroit, a lot of times we stay in our little circle. And I'm not saying all Detroiters, but a lot of people that I know, they be like, oh, I don't go across 8 Mile. How? 8 Miles right there. But it's just like that slave mentality. And you sometimes get in that bubble. And then let me tell you about what else happened great. I was sick. Ended up in a magazine. Look at here, y'all. Listen here. Wait. The girl's on page 60. Wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make this the kids. I'm just letting somebody know who's watching this that God will take you, get you where you need to go. So I can't find my page because I'm all excited now. So I'm on page 60. Here I go. That's me. This magazine is worldwide because this RPG is actually, I believe, in China. But they distributed a book to beauty salons. It's some major hairdressers in there and stuff. But just to let you know that whatever you're going through, get yourself together. Don't let people hold you back and keep you where they are at, because God has something better for you. There's purpose in your pain. So that's all I'm saying is that the stuff that like now, like I got a house. I got a house, y'all. If I don't have a job tomorrow, I'm going to still have a house. So when I tell you, like, there's no way that I'm supposed to be in this position now, I never seen none of this. I never.
Yeah.
When God, you get yourself together and you keep on believing, when I tell y'all, like, I forgive people. When people that was the hardest thing, because I used to be that rah, like I'll pull up on you. When I say I'm going to pull up on you, I'll be joking. I might not be. I have to ask for forgiveness, but I used to be that person, but I just trusted it, put everything in God's hand. And that's why I said I accept that God did all these things for me. And that was because I was able to be healed and like love on people. Like I love Crystal and Misha for real. We sometimes be bumping heads sometimes, but it be in love. I'll be like, okay, Crystal, what we doing tomorrow?
Right.
How you doing, Chris?
We actually do that. What are we talking about? But you know what? You're right, and it's so funny. And I'll share a little bit about what I did. Came from this Saturday. I'm producing this is my third production that says Crystal Sanford producer. And this was my bag. They said Crystal, this is yours. I have two executive producers that I'm working with, and they wrote the project, but they said, this is you produce it, you cast it, you do everything. And I did that. And it was huge, and it was a huge undertaking. I was nervous, but at the same time, I said, this is what we're doing and we're going for it. And so it's important for you to step into your excellence. And it's important for us to, sometimes we get in our headspace. And sometimes, and I told you, I got first home up here because first, I'll send her a message because, she did something for me last week, and she was so encouraging, and she said, okay, hold on, let me send you something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, like you said, Kia, I may not have people may not have a job, but they got a house, or you didn't know that you had this, but you had that. You didn't, and you're like, I just wrote a book. Like, listen, things might be crumbling down on you. I mean, sometimes, and I'm like, I know you crumbling down on you, but then you write a book or you're in a magazine. And I'm like, oh my gosh, all this stuff is happening. But then I just produced my own film short. And then I got another one that just,
that's what I'm talking about. Like I'm telling y'all, like when I say, like, that's why I said some people that don't know my story. Like when I posted that post today, when I said, oh, I was like that record that, people pass by, because it was like, I'm gonna be transparent. The husband was like, you need to grow, you need to this and whatever, he just wanted to go. So, you up there I was beating myself up. Then, like I said, I had the daddy issues. I had, all these issues. But God said, but God. He was like, this is what's gonna happen. And now all the people that slept on me and played me to the left, they can just sit back and just say, like, dang, God has moved. I know it's nothing but God. And I'm just about to speak something into Crystal's life right now. Crystal, I'm not gonna tell your business, but God has something special for you. Sometimes when stuff don't work out, it's because he got something better. So that's, I've been meaning to tell you that, but now we like a testimony. But like a lot of times when we be thinking stuff, like I tell people all the time, sometimes you might not get that job you want, but that'd be a blessing because he has something better for you. You be like, dang, why I didn't go over here? Why this didn't happen? It'd be a blessing. So when God closes a door, don't be always discouraged because you didn't get the job that you wanted or you didn't get the house. And I tell Robin this all the time. I'm like, just because you don't get what you think you want at the time, just be patient. Be patient because he will give you something better than what you have. So I'm waiting for that new husband, okay? Let me tell you, baby, when I get that new one, baby.
And I think that sometimes we get nervous or we get afraid, but I've always been somebody, look, if some door closes, I'm like, okay, well, let me make a phone call. I'm never somebody that just, what they call, sit on your laurels. I'm just like, okay, let me just pick your, pick your ass back up and what's next. But at the same time, you're like, okay, what is really next? So, but you can't do that. You can't get in your head. You got to just pick yourself up. And next thing you know, something great might come. You just
Like,
never
who
know.
do we have? Like, it's just like, let me just, and then like this internet world, like we've met so many amazing people. Like Crystal, like we, like that, nothing but God. Like Crystal, we called each other for real, for real. Like, hello. Like I was sick. She was like, I called you 2 times.
I know. I did.
In the 313, Crystal. But we do. We thank like all the people that we know where you can just reach out where now you can be like, hey, let me call, you got a question about a doctor. Let me call Dr. Ono. Let me call Lola. Hey, the expert, Kojo. We can call, you know, you could call these people for real, for real. And the people we have in the chat, I don't want to miss anybody because y'all know I can't see. We got Queen Nika, High Vibe that's always here every week. Princess K. We got Monique up in the house. Candace Quells, the Coco Brown Experience.
First Home is in here, and
who else?
Princess K. I didn't know you were new. I'm gonna put and then Misha. You know what's so funny, and you know what's so interesting. Me, Kia, and I were just talking about this one day, and then we were able to link all 3 of ours. And like Misha's not even here tonight, but this is on her channel, like because she's not here tonight. You know,
you said somebody needed that testimony because I wasn't even coming here for that. I don't even know. I didn't even, honestly, y'all, I didn't even know what we was talking about tonight. I just like, I'm showing up. I'm here. But I just felt led to say, like, you know, that whatever, because I was having some, like, you know how, and don't doubt yourself because you're not small. Everybody has a purpose. So, you know, like when you start hanging with people that's doing more to you, sometimes you're like, well, let me like, how, you know, like, okay, you were brought up in a different lifestyle. Your parents, you know, pushed you, they did this or whatever. So no, God spoke to me recently and was like, hey, no, you need to, you that special case. You that case that you didn't go to the regular college that people, the 4-year that everybody went, you know, not everybody, but that people go to and they, you know, have a fraternity, they sororities and stuff or whatever. Okay, no, you might not have that opportunity, but let's show the other people that it could still happen.
Mm-hmm.
It could still happen. Okay, your story is a little different, but look at God.
Right. And like Kia just gave us her testimony, and she's like, I didn't even think I would be writing a book. I didn't even think I would be an author. And now look at this. Like I showed up, somebody said, you know, they're hiring down in such and such. Next thing you know, I've been there for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. When you are this not confident, but you have that thing inside of you, like I'll be honest with y'all, and y'all don't know. There's a little. I don't know if y'all know this a little bit about my testimony, but I literally put 3 bags, two suitcases, and a duffel bag in my car, and I drove cross country by myself, from California to Atlanta by myself, and 33 hours, 17 and a half hours with no sleep. So I was like, Crystal, I can do it. But at the same time, sometimes you can't, you get in your head. But I was like, okay, you did that by yourself and you still here, like you can do other things. Like there's things that we can do, we just don't know it until it happens. Until sometimes you got to get down, sometimes you got to be like what Kia said, you got to be in that place mentally, physically, and everythingly. And getting a divorce and all of these other things happen to you, be like, oh wait a minute, i I'm
And
strong.
that's why I say what I say now. When I say amazing, people that don't know, you be like, oh, she, she stuck up and she this. No, 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 baby. Let me tell you why I'm amazing. I'm amazing because when I was sitting on there on the floor crying with my tears hitting the carpet, listening to Shekinah Glory, yes, let me tell you, when you come up out of that, that's when you say you're amazing, because you be looking at that joker like, baby, who's amazing now?
Right. Right. Like that question you asked at the top of the show, I was like, well, I am the best. I don't know what, like, better than me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so when you
Sometimes,
get to
sometimes
like
you
that,
need this reminder. And that's another thing. That's another thing, a reason why I think we are going to do like just like a self-care show. Maybe every 6 weeks or something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll talk to Misha and we'll figure it out, because I think that stuff like that is important. Or just something like when we talk about mental health and stuff, and sometimes we wrap the show around that anyway. Y'all know that that's how we that's how we get down over here at CMK. But I do think that it's important for us to really let let our the VIP lounge, our viewers know what we're all about, and that we are about uplifting each other and uplifting women, and especially Black women and Black men. But I think that's so important, because when Kia talks about her testimony, and sometimes you can forget, sometimes you can get, we watch these shows, we watch RTL, and we're like, people are like, well, why did you do this like this? And why did you do that like that? And sometimes, you know what? You need somebody to, remind you of yourself. You need to be like, oh, I have a lot of self worth. Sometimes you need that. You need that, those
mm-hmm.
people.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
why I said, that's why I have like a lot of patience and a lot of grace, because like I said, He still gives me grace and mercy. So when I see people that are not in the place that I am now, like I'll be like, okay, hey, this is, like I said, you can love on somebody and get people to the water, but when people are judgmental, they resist it. So when you like come and love and be like, hey, it's a better way to do this, baby. Let me tell you.
Right. And sometimes they don't know that better way. But if they don't know that better way, that's okay for you to walk away and be like,
And
this
then
is the
let's
way
see
I'm
when
going to
you
do it.
at peace, they be like, look, all of your DMs, all of your texts, like, what did you do? Like, what you over there doing? What you over there
Mhm.
drinking? Like, what kind of water you drinking over there? Like, what? Like, okay, because you don't look like what you've been through. You sure? Okay, what you do? How did you do that?
Right. How did you do it? And I need to follow your plan. That's actually happened to me before. And sometimes I need this reminder that's happened to me before. Somebody's taught how I was doing things and they started to say, I know I need to do exactly how Crystal did it. Sometimes you need that reminder. So,
But like I said, most importantly, like I said, the counseling gave me the steps, but the most important thing was the relationship with God, because I tell people, we're gonna go. I don't want to keep us all night, but I tell people that if somebody's watching this that's not in the live, people are like, well, how do I pray? You don't want to don't be trying to say all those fancy prayers or pray like the man at church or the lady at church. You talk to God from the heart. Like I was like, was going through the thick of the thick. I used to just like talk to God and be like, listen, God, I don't know what's going on over here. I'm lost. I'm scared. I don't know how I listen. Like I used to be literally scared to sleep in my house, but I've never lived by myself. Now, although nobody loved on me, but it still was people in the house. So to end up living in a whole big old house by myself, I was scared. And I would be like, Lord, help me. I don't know how to and then finally I started fixing my place up. Lord, I don't know how to get a contractor. Lord, guess what? Lord God, I'm telling y'all, God is amazing. He started sending me contractor people that look out for me just because I'm Kia. They're not, on those shady stuff. I have people that really like come be like, your bushes over here is this. Oh, fix it for me. So, somehow my house got put together. Like, and I didn't even realize someone was like, I got a whole new house. Like,
right. It's so funny. There's a couple things, and I think I'm gonna do. And I was talking to the team last night that I'm gonna do a show with the cast and crew of the film short. But that's actually what happened. I had four PAs that dropped down. Somebody got COVID, and another person got sick, so they dropped down to two, and then just a lot of stuff happened this weekend. But I asked somebody the night before. I said, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" And literally, they came through and just got everything together for me. Like I literally just I asked one question and they came through like gangbusters. And like he had just said, like you don't know how it happens. Some people will just be that person for you. You just don't know. And sometimes I'm just like, look at God.
So
So
let's start
gee,
with this. Everybody, I want everybody that's watching, if you watch it later, I want everybody to do this. It's the beginning of the year. If you don't have a fancy jar, just find something, a shoebox, find something, a container. Every time God, every week, find something every week. We're not going to say every day, every week. Find a day of the week that you're going to reflect on something God has done for you that week that's amazing. Because
I love
sometimes
that.
we forget. Because I was in my
That's what I
feelings
just said.
about a month ago or whatever, and I had you forget, and you see how I gave this testimony, but I have so much, but you sometimes forget when you're in the thick of it. So get you a box or a jar or whatever, and every week write it down, something amazing that God has done for you, or something amazing in your life that has happened that week. Okay, and then you fold it up, put it in your box. The following week, do the same thing. We're going to do this for the rest of the year, okay?
I love that.
We're going to come back at the end of the year, and you don't have to read it all, but I want y'all before the new year, just sit down in your quiet space, your place, and just read everything that you've been blessed with the year. Or whenever you feel down, you might need to go in there before the year is over. But do that. Let's try that.
You know what? I think that's it. I think we should do that, and maybe even maybe we'll look at that. If y'all want to open it up once a month, you guys want somebody want to share one, or y'all want to share something that God's done. I would love that, and I love
I
and
think we
thank you, Kia,
forget
because
sometimes.
Kia just gave us two jewels. Like, you don't be listening to somebody else tell you how to pray. You just get it. Pray how you just talk to him. Just talk to him the way you want to pray. That I
That's where I
love
got
that.
the name Hood from. Because I was so scared because these old people, old people be judgmental sometimes.
Yes, and
So
tell
they,
you, you got to pray like
they
this.
put me on the prayer line, right? So I'm the youngest person. I ain't no spring chicken, but I was the youngest one. They was like all like 83 and stuff. I'm like, how did I get on this prayer line? So I was like scared to pray because I was like, I don't know how to pray like y'all or whatever. And I was like, messing with me, y'all gonna get that hood prayer. But when I would get them that hood prayer, they be calling me after like, girl, you just touched me with that
Right.
hood prayer. I was like, I wasn't even trying. I was just being myself. So be yourself when you talk to God, because He knows who you are. He knows what you're thinking. But yeah, let's get that jar popping. I'm anxious to do it. This just came in my mind. I'm like, it's the beginning of the year, so let's
No.
go ahead and do this. And like I said, even if you don't watch us at the end of the year, we hope you still be here with us. But God willing, we can come together and just,
Oh no, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Kia's gonna do it. We're gonna suggest it to Misha, and I'm sure she's gonna be watching this, and we're definitely gonna do it. I would love for y'all to do it with us. It's important for our CMK family to just be part of us. So we really want to encourage everybody to do that. So
okay,
you
so
guys,
ready to go. So before I leave,
yes.
I'm always in Misha's lashes. So make sure you go over to Queen of Life Cosmetics, get your lashes. Make sure. And she has an eyebrow pencil on there also. Yeah, and just check out her. Just go shop on there. Make sure you just get your Queen of Life Cosmetics. And
So if y'all can see my palette, I am wearing roses. I'm wearing roses on my eye. I'm wearing roses on my eyes. I wanted to do it clean, like nothing too crazy. Although I love the purple and then that's what happens to me. I'm like, oh no, I'm just gonna do something simple. And then I see Kia and I'm like, oh man, I should have done that. Like, so I love it. But yeah, I'm wearing roses. So that is Queen of Life Cosmetics. And then this is Kia Simone from Pain to Love. My heart belongs to him.
so they want the link. So
Okay.
Kristen,
The link The link for Queen of
Yeah.
Life, or
Yeah.
I was gonna put all of our links in. I'm gonna put link to
Okay,
my
so
channel,
she's gonna put the link in. So yeah.
the link to Queen of Life Cosmetics as well.
Hmm.
All right, I'm gonna do all of that. You guys, I just finished one short that is going into editing. I just got the results of the previous short. We just took a look at that last night. We've got some a couple of changes on that. So hopefully, we're hopefully looking for one to drop. We were talking about having two drop in February, but we're not sure. So beginning of February, like around Valentine's Day, we'll be looking to show you guys um, the short film, one of the short films, and yeah, that's that's what we're doing. So I'm gonna put the link to Queen of Life Cosmetics in here.
And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We gonna get it together. Like, we have busy schedules, and we was like, what are we talking about? But we always make it happen, because again, the CMK our we just keep it real. We just like three girls just come here and kick it and chat, and you guys have become a part of the family. So we again hope you guys enjoyed it here.
I'll be doing and see, this is my imposter syndrome, since I was so busy this week and just crazy. I'm doing the women's panel. It's supposed to be um the alpha woman in a relationship. Does she even exist? That's supposed to be the next one, but I am getting my panelists together for that. And then Misha and I were gonna check on yeah, we're supposed to be doing the reunion, the last reunion show this Sunday. And y'all, RTL, they're not giving us a break. They're not giving us a
I
break.
know.
The next season is starting on the 28th. Well, what's funny is they're not doing a casting special. I'm like, thank goodness. Thank goodness they're not doing a casting special. So yeah, they're not giving us a break. So we will be doing that as well. I'm putting the link to Kia Simone in here as well. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I love shows like this. And we just,
Yeah, we
talk.
needed some redemption from me and Misha last week, talking about some vibrators and stuff. We needed this.
Yeah, we definitely needed this. Uh, Kia, can you put.
That's because I can't post
Hold
my.
on. Okay, hold on. 1 second.
I don't know why it doesn't let me post, but yeah, I can't.
Y'all, 1 second.
So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to the dentist tomorrow, so that's not too exciting.
Found it. Here you go. 1 second.
We're gonna put it. We're gonna let you guys go.
Yes.
Miss Creator, we missed you today. Hey, hey.
And if anyone wants to join us every month, at the end of the month, we have a guest for CMK Ladies Lounge. Where we would love for it to be, high vibes, Miss Creative, some of our loyal Kimberly Reviews has been a guest. Jada came on just asking some questions, but we probably will have Jada on the end of the month. So every once a month we have a guest. We have, of course, the three of us, and then we pick a topic and we hang out. So
Okay,
yeah.
well, deuces, lovely people.
Oh,
Peace.
thank y'all. Thank y'all.